Stop whatever else you're doing and listen for a moment. What I'm about to tell you isn't motivational fluff. It's a demolition of 4 lies you've been fed since you were a kid. Lies designed to keep you weak, compliant, and easy to control. And the worst part, you probably believe every single one of them. 500 years ago, Niccolò Machiavelli watched powerful men play this same game in the courts of Renaissance Italy. He saw how the masses were kept obedient with comforting phrases and noble-sounding slogans, while a small group quietly learned the real rules of power. Those same lies are still being whispered to you today, by school, by culture, by people who benefit from you staying in your place. By the time we're done, you'll understand why some people seem to glide from promotion to promotion, while others grind for years, do everything right, and stay stuck. And more importantly, you'll know how to start taking back the power you've been handing away. Have you ever watched someone and thought, how are they winning at life? They're not kinder than you. They're not necessarily smarter. But somehow, they get the promotions. They walk into a room and people pay attention. Meanwhile, you're doing what you were told. Be a good person, be patient, wait your turn, play by the rules. And nothing moves. It's not genetics. It's not luck. It's that they understand the game everyone is playing, while you're still in the stands hoping someone will invite you onto the field. Machiavelli's book The Prince is still hated and misunderstood because it doesn't sugarcoat human nature. It exposes a hard truth. Power is rarely given. It's taken. Influence doesn't automatically go to the most moral or the most deserving. It goes to the ones who see reality clearly and act accordingly. That's exactly why these 4 lies exist. They're not random pieces of bad advice. They serve a purpose, to keep you passive, to make you easier to manage, to convince you that it's noble to stay small while others move ruthlessly and strategically. When you believe these lies, you don't need chains. You chain yourself. But once you see them for what they are, you can't unsee them. Your worldview shifts. You start noticing patterns in workplaces, in families, in relationships. You understand why certain strategies always seem to work for the same types of people, and why others fail, again and again. This is not about turning you into a monster. It's about finally seeing reality as it is, not as you wish it was, and ending the self-sabotage no one told you was self-sabotage. If you're ready for that, lock this sentence into your mind and drop it in the comments if you're serious. I choose to see the truth and reclaim my power. Now let's tear apart the first lie. Deadly lie 1. Good things come to those who wait. This is one of the most dangerous phrases ever invented because it sounds wise, it sounds patient, it sounds mature. But do you know what it really means in practice? Sit down, stay quiet, and let other people take what could have been yours. While you're waiting for the right time, someone else is already taking messy action. While you're being patient, someone else is sending the email, making the call, asking for the promotion, launching the imperfect product. While you're trusting that the universe has a plan, someone else is creating their own plan and executing it. You've seen this play out. The person who absolutely deserves the promotion but waits to be noticed gets passed over for the one who actively lobbies for it, builds relationships, and asks directly. The person with a brilliant business idea who waits for perfect conditions watches someone else launch something similar and dominate the niche. This lie has tricked millions into thinking that waiting is virtuous and action is somehow desperate or try hard. But here's the harsh truth. Nothing happens when you wait. Nothing. Machiavelli once wrote, "Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved." He wasn't telling you to become cruel. He was pointing at a brutal reality. If you sit around hoping people will love you, notice you, reward you out of the goodness of their hearts, you will lose to the person who is willing to be decisive, assertive, and unapologetic. Respect does not go to the quiet observer in the corner. It goes to the one who moves. Let's make this real. Two people apply for the same position. Person A has the better resume. They're qualified, capable, experienced. They hit submit and then wait confident their work will speak for itself. Person B, their resume is decent, but they don't just sit back. They send a follow-up email. They reach out on LinkedIn. They connect with someone inside the company. They show interest, initiative, and value. Guess who gets hired? It's not the one who waited to be discovered. It's the one who made themselves impossible to ignore. Opportunity doesn't knock politely. You have to chase it down and grab it before someone else does. The waiting game is a trap. It feels safe. It feels patient. But it's really just disguised fear. It keeps you from risking rejection, from taking messy action, from stepping into the spotlight where failure is possible. And yet, that's exactly where success hides. Every day you wait for the stars to align. Someone else is building their empire with imperfect tools and uncertain steps. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," someone else is already adjusting their strategy after failing today. The world doesn't reward patience. It rewards motion. It doesn't matter how long you've been loyal, how much you've earned it, or how virtuous your intentions are. Results go to those who act, not those who wait for approval. Time is your most valuable resource, and waiting is the slowest form of surrender. Think of all the people who changed the world: founders, artists, revolutionaries. None of them waited for permission. They started before they were ready, without the full picture, with limited information. But they moved. Machiavelli's Italy was filled with ambitious men who wanted power but were too cautious to reach for it. They waited for perfect timing while others took risks and claimed their thrones. He saw that hesitation was death. Good things come to those who wait? No. Good things come to those who take them. When you act, even imperfectly, you create momentum. When you wait, you lose it. So stop waiting for the green light. If you have an idea, test it. If you want something, ask. If you see an opening, take it. You don't need permission. You need movement. The worst that can happen is someone says no. The best that can happen is everything changes. Here's the truth most people don't want to admit. Comfort is the slowest poison. It numbs you into thinking that patience is a virtue when it's really stagnation. The world belongs to those who act first and adjust later. So let's make this simple. Drop this in the comments if you understand what I'm saying. I take action now and create my own opportunities. Now let's move to the second lie. Deadly lie 2. Everyone deserves respect. This one sounds noble, even kind. It's what you've been told your whole life. Respect everyone. Treat everyone equally. But here's what it secretly does. It makes you hand over your most valuable currency, your respect, to people who haven't earned it. And when you do that, you lower your own value. Respect is not a participation trophy. It's not a gift you give out of politeness. It's a reflection of your standards. When you respect people who haven't earned it, you send a message. Your standards don't matter. Your judgment can't tell the difference between excellence and mediocrity. Think about it. Would the most powerful people you know respect everyone equally? Of course not. They're polite to everyone, but respectful only to those who've proven themselves through results, consistency, and character. Machiavelli wrote, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few know what you really are." He understood that how you present yourself, including who you choose to respect, teaches others how to treat you. When you give respect too freely, you appear weak and undiscerning. You tell the world you can't tell the difference between the competent and the incompetent. Imagine this. You're in a meeting with 10 people. Half of them have built real value. They've earned their influence. The other half got there through luck or politics. If you treat them all with the same level of respect, what message are you sending? That achievement doesn't matter. That results don't matter. That effort and excellence are optional. And when you send that message, people stop taking you seriously. Now, this doesn't mean being rude. There's a difference between basic decency and earned respect. You can be polite without being submissive. You can be kind without being naive. In fact, true leaders are masters of this balance. They treat everyone with civility, but their respect must be earned. Because the moment you hand respect to someone who hasn't earned it, they'll test you. They'll see how far they can push, how much they can take, how easily you bend. And if you fold instantly, they'll never see you as an equal again. But if you're courteous yet reserved, if you make them earn your respect through competence and consistency, they'll either rise to meet your standard or reveal themselves as frauds. The ones worth keeping around will recognize the difference and respect you more for it. Your standards are your power. Treat your respect like a luxury item, rare, valuable, and not for sale. When you give it away freely, it loses its meaning. So stop giving everyone your approval just because it feels nice. Observe. Evaluate. Choose carefully who earns your respect. Because when your respect means something, your presence starts to mean something too. Drop this in the comments if you agree. My respect is earned, not given, and I value myself enough to have standards. Now let's move deeper into this. When you make your respect cheap, you lose influence. Because respect, real respect, is social currency. The rarer it is, the more valuable it becomes. Think about how this plays out in every area of life. In business, the leader who treats high performers and slackers the same ends up losing both. The best people stop trying because excellence isn't recognized. The worst people stop improving because mediocrity isn't punished. In relationships, when you keep respecting people who repeatedly cross your boundaries, you teach them that your boundaries don't matter. And once that lesson is learned, they never unlearn it. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He saw that power is built on perception. If people perceive you as someone whose respect must be earned, they will treat you like someone who commands it. But if they perceive you as endlessly forgiving, endlessly tolerant, endlessly giving, then you become a tool. The truth is simple. You can't be respected by everyone, and you shouldn't want to be. Because respect that's universal is respect that's meaningless. So from now on, be polite to everyone, but be impressed by almost no one. Observe what people do, not what they say. Notice how they treat others when they think no one important is watching. That's how you know who's worthy of respect. Once you raise your standards, something amazing happens. The right people start gravitating toward you. The wrong ones start falling away. You don't even have to cut them off. They'll remove themselves because they realize they can't meet your expectations. That's how power works. Not through force, but through silent standards. Now let's talk about the third lie. Deedly. Lie 3. Just be yourself, and people will like you. Sounds positive, right? It's the kind of advice that gets repeated at every graduation ceremony and every self-help seminar. But it's poison disguised as comfort. Because here's what it really means. Stay exactly as you are. Don't change. Don't grow. Don't evolve. Just hope that the world will rearrange itself around your comfort zone. But that's not how power works. You don't attract what you are. You attract what you project. There isn't one true self. You have many versions of you: lazy you, disciplined you, confident you, insecure you, decisive you, fearful you. Which one you show up as determines what kind of life you get. When people say, just be yourself, they usually mean be your easiest version. The version that avoids discomfort. The version that avoids accountability. The version that calls laziness authenticity. But authenticity without growth is stagnation. Machiavelli said, everyone sees what you appear to be. Few know what you really are. He wasn't advocating for deception. He was saying that perception is power. You can choose what version of yourself the world interacts with. The disciplined you, the sharp you, the prepared you. That's the one that commands respect. Think about it. Version A of you shows up late, makes excuses, complains about how things are unfair, and avoids tough conversations. Version B of you shows up early, speaks clearly, holds eye contact, takes ownership, and solves problems without drama. They're both you. But which one do people follow? Which one gets opportunities? When you start showing up as your highest version, people respond differently. Doors open, conversations shift. You attract people who operate at your level and push away those who can't keep up. And yes, this will make some people uncomfortable. The version of you that sets boundaries will annoy those who benefited from your lack of them. The version that demands excellence will intimidate those who settle for average. The version that speaks truth will upset those who rely on silence. That's good. Growth is supposed to be uncomfortable for you and for others. Stop calling comfort authenticity. It's not. It's fear dressed up as virtue. Authenticity isn't about refusing to change. It's about becoming the most capable version of yourself. The real you isn't static. It's evolving. The you that got here isn't the you who's going to take the next step. Every powerful person you admire had to become someone new. They had to outgrow the timid version of themselves, the people-pleasing version, the version that needed validation. They didn't fake it till they made it. They became it. And yes, it's work. It's hard. You'll lose people. You'll face resistance. You'll feel like you're acting at first. But that's not inauthenticity, it's evolution. The butterfly isn't pretending to be something it's not. It's outgrowing the caterpillar it used to be. Stop saying, I'm just being myself, when what you really mean is, I'm avoiding growth. You're not here to stay the same. You're here to become dangerous in control, composed and capable. The version of you that hesitates won't build the life you want. The version that acts even afraid will. So from now on, don't just be yourself. Be your strongest self. Be the self that your goals require. Drop this in the comments if you're ready for that shift. I choose to be the best version of myself, even when it's uncomfortable. Because the truth is, discomfort is the birthplace of power, Srilai. 4. Everything happens for a reason. This one sounds deep. It sounds spiritual. It sounds like the kind of comforting phrase you'd hear after a breakup, a failure, or a tragedy. But behind the soothing tone lies one of the most destructive beliefs you can hold. Because if everything happens for a reason, then you're not responsible for anything. You're not responsible for your failures, your stagnation, your unhappiness. You can just tell yourself it's all part of some grand plan. You can wait for the universe to explain why your business failed, why you were betrayed, why you never got what you wanted. And while you wait for the meaning to reveal itself, your life slips quietly out of your control. Here's the truth. Things don't happen for a reason. They happen because of decisions, actions, and consequences. When you believe everything is fate, you trade power for comfort. You give up the right to shape your own destiny in exchange for a pretty story that makes powerlessness feel spiritual. But Machiavelli would have laughed at that idea. He once wrote, "I am not interested in preserving the status quo. I want to overthrow it." That's the mindset of someone who refuses to be ruled by circumstance. He didn't believe in fate, he believed in force. Not physical violence, but the force of will, action, and strategy. When you accept this truth, everything changes. Because you stop waiting for signs and start looking for cause and effect. You start asking, what did I do to create this result? What can I change next time? That's how powerful people think. But the world around you loves to keep you soft. It tells you to trust the process, to wait for things to unfold, to believe that everything happens for a reason. Why? Because people who wait are easy to control. They don't rebel, they don't disrupt, they don't rise. Let's make this real. Someone loses their job. They say, "Everything happens for a reason. Maybe this is a sign that I'm meant for something better." But instead of updating their resume, networking, or learning new skills, they wait. They meditate on the reason. 6 months later, they're still stuck, still broke, still waiting for the universe to send a signal. Another person gets rejected. They tell themselves, "It wasn't meant to be." Instead of asking, "What did I do wrong? How can I improve?" they take comfort in the illusion that fate made the decision for them. Or an entrepreneur's business fails. They say, "Maybe it wasn't meant for me." Instead of studying what went wrong, adjusting, and trying again, they walk away and call it destiny. You see how that works? The lie gives you a soft pillow to rest on while your potential dies quietly in the background. Successful people think differently. When something goes wrong, they don't search for cosmic meaning. They look for patterns. They ask, "What did I do? What did I miss? What needs to change?" They learn, they adapt, they act. That's not cold or cynical. That's power. Because if everything is meant to be, you're just a passenger. But if outcomes come from choices, you're the driver. Sure, some things are outside your control, natural disasters, random accidents, other people's choices. But even then, you have control over how you respond. You can collapse or you can build. You can wait or you can move. You can make excuses or you can make adjustments. That's what separates people who stay powerless from those who reclaim control. The "everything happens for a reason" mindset breeds passivity. It trains you to romanticize your pain instead of fixing it. It makes you sit inside the burning house of your own problems, whispering that the fire must be teaching you something. No, sometimes the lesson is simple. Get out and rebuild. When you stop looking for mystical explanations and start looking for practical actions, you take back command of your life. I've seen this destroy more potential than almost any belief. People convince themselves that their pain is destiny, their failures are fate, their unhappiness is part of the journey, and they never change because they secretly love the story. It makes them feel safe. It removes the burden of responsibility. But safety kills greatness. Machiavelli believed that fortune, the unpredictable part of life, controls only half of what happens to us. The other half, he said, belongs to us, to our choices, to our preparation, to our courage. You can't stop the storm, but you can build a stronger ship. You can't control who betrays you, but you can learn how to read people better next time. You can't control the economy, but you can control your adaptability. That's the Machiavellian truth. Power doesn't mean invincibility. It means responsibility. The ability to respond strategically, not emotionally. Stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" Start asking, "What will I do about it?" Because while most people are meditating on reasons, the powerful are rewriting the outcome. This belief isn't just spiritual poison, it's political, it's social, it's psychological. It's how systems maintain order. If people believe that everything is predetermined, they stop fighting, they stop questioning, they stop trying. But when you reject that lie, when you accept that you are the author of your own story, everything shifts. You stop being a character and start being the writer. You stop waiting for permission and start creating momentum. You stop needing life to happen for a reason and start making life happen for your purpose. Listen carefully. Your life is not a movie written by fate. There's no hidden script where everything magically works out. There's only what you do, what you decide, and how you adapt. Your decisions create your destiny. Every choice compounds. Every action ripples. Every standard you set becomes the structure of your life. That's what Machiavelli understood, and that's what the weak fear the most. Because once you take full responsibility, there's no one left to blame, but there's also nothing left to stop you. Drop this in the comments if you feel it. I take full responsibility for my outcomes. My actions create my destiny. Now that you see the fourth lie for what it really is, you can finally see the system they all create together. Lie 1. Good things come to those who wait. Makes you passive. Lie 2. Everyone deserves respect. Makes you dependent. Lie 3. Just be yourself. Keeps you comfortable. Lie 4. Everything happens for a reason. Makes you powerless. Together, they create a society of people who are polite, patient, predictable, and easily controlled. Reject them. Choose action over waiting. Standards over blind acceptance. Growth over comfort. Responsibility over fate. You are not here to be tamed. You are here to take back control of your life. Because while everyone else is waiting for signs, fate, or the right time, someone else is already acting, and they're taking what could have been yours. Choose differently. Choose power. Now say it and mean it. I reject these lies. I embrace the truth. I live from a position of power. Now that the 4 lies have been exposed, you can't pretend you don't know. You can't go back to believing that patience will save you, that everyone deserves your respect, that comfort equals authenticity, or that fate has a plan for you. Because now, you understand the truth. Every one of those lies was designed to keep you obedient, to make you manageable, to make sure you never realize how much power you actually have. Machiavelli said that the promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. What he meant is that circumstances change, and only the wise adapt. The same rule applies to you. The old version of you made promises to stay small, stay patient, stay likable. But that version is over. The person who waited is gone. The observer must now become the player. Knowing these truths gives you a choice, a rare one. You can either step forward into responsibility or retreat into illusion. You can either become powerful or remain predictable. Most people choose comfort. They'd rather keep believing the lies because the truth demands too much of them. The truth requires action, strategy, and discipline. It forces you to face the reality that your failures weren't fate, they were decisions. And that terrifies people. But you're different, or you wouldn't still be here. If you've listened this far, it's because some part of you is ready to stop living reactively. You're ready to start designing your life like a strategist. So, let's talk about what that actually looks like. It means you stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. What matters is momentum. The act of moving even when you don't feel ready. It means you stop giving people what they haven't earned. Not your time, not your energy, not your loyalty. You set standards, and anyone who can't meet them will quietly remove themselves. It means you stop being yourself when yourself really means untrained, distracted, and afraid. You shape yourself into the version that commands outcomes. You practice self-control like a weapon, and it means you stop pretending that everything happens for a reason. You make things happen for a reason. You become the reason. Power, in the Machiavellian sense, isn't about cruelty, it's about clarity. It's about knowing what game you're playing and refusing to be a pawn. It's understanding that the world doesn't reward fairness. It rewards focus. The people who move with precision, who act when others hesitate, who control their emotions while everyone else is reacting, those are the ones who rise. Machiavelli never said to be heartless. He said to be strategic. That's what separates the strong from the sentimental. The powerful can feel, but they never let feelings dictate their next move. Now, when you start living this way, expect resistance. People will call you cold, selfish, arrogant. They'll say you've changed. They'll accuse you of being manipulative or calculating, and they'll be right. You have changed. You are calculating. But calculation isn't evil. It's intelligence applied to reality. It's knowing the cost of every choice and paying it willingly. Remember this, the lion doesn't apologize to the sheep for being a lion. The new you doesn't explain. You move quietly, deliberately, like a master in the middle of the board. You no longer waste energy convincing others. You let your results make the noise. Every day, test yourself. Did you act or did you wait? Did you demand excellence or did you tolerate mediocrity? Did you grow or did you seek comfort? Did you take responsibility or did you blame something outside yourself? Power is built through these small choices made every single day. Machiavelli would say, fortune favors the bold, but only the prepared can seize it. So prepare relentlessly. Think strategically. Guard your energy like a king guards his crown. And when the world offers you another comforting lie, smile. You'll recognize it instantly. You'll know it's bait, because once you've seen the truth, you can never be fooled again. Now say it and mean it. I reject these lies. I choose truth, action, and discipline. I take full responsibility for my life. I live from power, not from fear. Remember, the world doesn't wait for the strong, it belongs to them. While others are still hoping for a reason, you will already be creating one.